5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi again, YouTubers and friends. Jiminy Christmas, Batman. I really need to do something about my tower. Thank you all for coming back, and the ones that came in, I see Justin in there. I see, hey, you guys. Charlie, good to see you. Milwaukee, Matt, Mandy's Candy. B3 Relic Recovery, good to see you. Chris, Brian Wilder, all these awesome people coming back, coming to the show. Swiftwater's in the house. How you doing, Scott? Good to see all of you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there, because the show must go on. I think my camera needs fixing. Different angle for OBS to to StreamYard. But looks like StreamYard's coming into a pinch. So I know we did this already, but I'm going to do it again. We'll be right back with Kevin Hoagland and Dominic Ricci right after this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. With your host, Ed Marvin. Tuesday Night Hangout Live is a Flash in Your Pan production.
How we doing, sports fans?
Doing good, and I don't hear Dominic echoing.
Are we in this?
Well, can I ask, just screwing around. Sorry, Ed.
Well, it was me actually echoing through you. You were channeling me, Dominic.
Ed, it takes a big person to admit they were wrong, so thank you. We appreciate you.
I appreciate both of you joining me tonight.
Twice.
Twice, yeah. 2 for Tuesday on this Tuesday Night Hangout Live. Oh my goodness. But
It could have been worse, dude. It could have been worse.
That's right. The joys of live streaming. But Megadog, as I was saying earlier, we'll be doing closer towards the end of the live stream, of course. We'll be doing a giveaway for a bag of pay dirt from our friend Megadog555. Great guy in the community. He's been so gracious to so many content creators in our hand of YouTube. But one of these, and later on, we'll talk about what the LDMA and the GPAA has to offer. And where else? I'm glitching now myself. But
Hey, Ed.
Yes, sir.
Just sit back, take a nice deep breath, and buckle up, buddy.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. It's Kevin Hoagland with the Gold Prospectors Association of America, and we are taking over Tuesday Night Hangout Live. Joining me tonight is my co-host, Mr. Dominic Ricci.
Woo woo!
Woo! And we have a special guest, and that is nothing other than Ed Marvin. And we'll get around to Ed sooner or later. But right now, we don't have any chat. We can't see anything that's going on. So every now and then, hopefully Ed will feed us a question and everything else like that. But other than that,
You
we're here.
should have a button on your right side, all the way to the top, that says comments
Oh,
in
there it
it
is.
that you can click and you can see the comments.
You know, Kevin, I got to tell you, we got a great engineer with us tonight. Ed
Yeah,
is
we
doing a
do.
great job. He switched systems. He's getting techie with you to say, hey,
Yep.
click on the comments button. So
Yep.
Ed, thank you for being the engineer and driving this ship.
Yeah,
Because
it's
Kevin and
nothing.
I are just going to crash it.
Yeah, because nothing works better than a good producer, because you have to have a good producer, especially when it comes to us. Is Julie Hanson still out there? Is Julie still out there? Did she make it over?
Banshee, I thought I saw. Yeah, she's here.
Okay. All right. I want to give a really special shout out to Banshee, to Julie, for one very, very important thing. The GPAA has a state director program, and the state director program is designed for amazing people that hold to really what I was taught by the buzzard back in the day of there's things that we do. We always make sure that we got properties. We always make sure that we keep people informed, and beyond everything else, it's members helping members become better prospectors. And Julie Hanson is one of those people. So much so that I asked Julie to join the ranks of the California State Directors, and she graciously and without any trepidation immediately said yes, absolutely. And Julie has been an amazing, pardon me. Oh, crap. I tested positive today for COVID, and I'm just having a hell of a time now. Julie has done an amazing job in the time that I've known her about really promoting this industry and being a crucial part of what everybody does, and it doesn't matter if you're a GPA member or just a member of any other organization. Julie has always been around, and she has done a phenomenal job, and a big shout out to her. And I'd like for everybody out there to give her a big thumbs up and a big heart and everything else, because Julie is the epitome of what this organization and a lot of things that it's just about what prospecting and mining is all about. So way to go, Julie. Thank you for being here tonight, and hope to see you soon.
Hey, let me jump in
Julie's
real quick, Kevin.
awesome.
Smith Gold. I don't know if you saw the comment that went on the screen there, but Smith Gold. Yes, Kevin and I both were in elderly makeup for the last 4 hours to get ready for this show. So
Was that Smith Gold, or was that in the gold fields with Swiftwater Tony?
I think it was Smith Gold. If yeah, see right there, in the gold fields. Yeah, again, 4 hours each. We were in makeup to make us look this old, and as soon as this show's over, we'll go back to our normal, stealth.
If you look closely, you can see the line of the mast, and then I just
Warn people, Kevin.
Yeah.
I need to get my sunglasses if you're going to put that bald, shiny head on the screen again.
Oh man!
Oh, okay, you're in trouble now.
My transitions didn't work fast enough, Dominic.
Ed, kill the camera! Kill the camera!
That's an SOS, brother. And now is Swifty here?
Yeah, Swifty's here.
I got to know how Manny's doing before we do anything. I got to hear about Manny. What's Manny up to these days?
I heard he tried to escape, but you know how Swifty is with Manny.
Yeah. He's a little bit overly protective of Manny, which really kind of, well, in some countries, I think that'd be illegal.
Swiftwater says Manny's sitting still.
Oh, hey, and I just saw somebody else in here, and I'm not going to call him out by name, but I am going to call him out as who everybody knows him by, the one and only known to everybody, almost, Placer Pete. Placer Pete himself is in the house tonight. So
Oh, really?
welcome, Pete. If you want to jump
Is,
up and say who you are,
is that Steve right
I'm
there?
not going to say anything. I'll leave it up to him.
Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable.
I don't know why he would hide, but
Well, he's actually Steve is actually watching you and I, Kevin, right now, because it's only been out there a little bit that Placer Pete is going to be hosting an event based out of Stanton next April.
Yep.
And I was talking with Steve today, and quite frankly, he's nervous. He is so nervous. I told him, don't worry about it. Kevin and I have it. He asked what we're going to do. I told him
That
we're
made
going to
him
work
more
our
nervous.
plan. He said, is your plan written down? And I said, of course not. He's just sweating bullets. Steve, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Last time Kevin and I got together at an event, we only lost 2 or 3 dozen people.
Well, what do you mean by lost?
They didn't come back. Meaning like they never checked back in. We had to go to the court to turn over their RVs to us so that we can turn around and sell them. They were just gone.
I found one of them.
Well, I know you were using the backhoe the other day.
Hey, I have a backhoe. Body's buried deep. $20.
Yeah. Anyway, Steve, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Welcome, Placer Pete.
Oh God!
It's going to be a rough moment.
Oh, I just wish I felt a little bit better.
He says that's okay. Maybe they found the big load.
Sure. Camp's going to be closed from now until the beginning of April. Kevin and I have some serious work to do.
Well, my 450 Hitachi is supposed to be showing up sometime down here within the next month. So,
oh man, you can't see that. There it is. That was a little one that we found, Kevin. Remember when you?
Oh, well, here, put that back up, Dominic.
He's got to give you the screen. There you go.
It's these little
up
things.
A little higher.
Oh, come on, dude. Do it the right way.
Boom. I'm okay, guys. But, we find these little things out here as we walk around, and I don't know.
I thought you were gonna try and do a nugget brain challenge there, Dominic.
I don't know what that is.
Don't. Just leave that one alone, dude. Just leave that one alone.
Do we have any prospectors out there that are like, hero movie? I don't know if that was Disney or not, but hero man. I mean, here's basically the hero nugget. Nice and smooth, just like hero. I'm your healthcare provider.
Move that back. Hold that back up for a second. And move it to your right. There, no, to your right.
Then it disappears.
There, right there. That's pretty cool.
Hey, I got dirt in my nose. Anyway, hey, how you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great, man. What's been going on? I mean, we've both been running in circles and getting a lot of things taken care of. Hey, Ed.
Yes,
go to
sir.
sleep for a little bit, man. We'll be back to you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Just
hang
take
tight,
a nap.
Ed.
Yeah, hang tight. Whoa, man. Oh, when he goes, he goes.
Well, you saw in the comments he said he had to go to the banyo, so he'll be back. In all seriousness,
a nuclear cloud behind your head. There you go. Thank you.
In all seriousness, you said what's been going on. It's been kind of a cool thing. We just finished up the last of our 2024 Dirt Fest events here at Stanton. It only went on for 3 weeks, 22 days. But I think one of the things, Kevin, that was really, really cool was taking people out that actually wanted to learn how to prospect. Not where do I dig, not, tell me where the gold is, but actually take them out, explain some geology, show, I go real deep, my education level. I talk about dolphins, I talk about coffee grounds, I'm really hardcore, those are big, long words. But to actually take people out after you heard, for about 2 years, people in, oh, there's no gold over there. There's no gold over there. And sure enough, you take people out, you give them a little bit of education, not the level that you would do, Kevin. I can't give it all to them, but then they're out there actually finding gold. And then the beautiful thing is some of the people that have been spouting, there's no gold in the area that we were in. Who do you think were the first ones looking over the shoulders at the pans that these people were panning out their cleanups? The no gold people. So they shut up real fast. And then where do you think I saw them the next day? Out in the area that we were at.
Of course.
So, I think today's people, you can either buy bags of pay dirt if you want guaranteed gold, or you can take 90% of your time and study the land, study the ground, study a little geology so that you can spend 10% actually mining and getting your gold.
Yeah, that is actually a big one. And I'm a big fan of the pay dirt industry for people learning. And also, quite frankly, there are times that people just, they're homebound. They can't get out. They can't get up. They can't do anything. You take places like the winter time when everything in the Northeast is frozen over and they're not actually getting out. But I get it. I get it. And I think that pay dirt is a good tool if it's used properly. And to me, what I've seen is, what I really talk to people about is, if you're going to come to Arizona and you've never been to Arizona, find a company that's selling Arizona pay dirt. Now, we know that there's a whole, and we all know this. I think everybody knows pay dirt companies, for the majority of them, will get gold that they're purchasing and so on like that they put into their pay dirt bags, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But there's a lot of people out there that is in this industry, they're in the pay dirt industry, that are using native gold. And that's my biggest suggestion for pay dirt. If you're going to come to Arizona, get some Arizona pay dirt. If you're going to go to Colorado, get some Colorado pay dirt, these different areas and so on like that. So you have a little bit better idea. One of the things that I keep talking about is that the principles, no matter what, for recovery gold, the principles are all the same. It's the processes that change. And gold is a part of that process, because recovering fine gold, ultra fine gold out of an area like the Yuba or the Hassayampa River, and then recovering gold out of maybe the Trinity or something else like that. It's gold, but it's different. So it's nice to be able to have that ability to understand and really be able to see, and it just makes you a better prospector, makes you a better miner, all in the long run.
A week and a half ago, I was down in, how do you say it, the Hassayampa River?
Hassayampa.
Thank you. Had a group of people there, and I got to tell you, we were cruising along, went by the Box Canyon, and then we went to that other Golden Arches place so I can get a McFlurry at McDonald's, because why not? You just cruise on down. And then I cruised all the way back to camp, refreshed after I had my McFlurry at the Golden Arches. You okay there, Kevin?
I got nothing to say to that one.
Okay.
I got nowhere to go with that one. I mean, yeah. No, that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about my desert, I call it my desert because I consider it my desert, is yeah, I can jump in my buggy and take back roads and hit a whole bunch of good spots and end up at Subway right across the street from the Golden Arches
There you go.
and get something healthy.
So let me tell you where I was, Kevin.
Tell me where you were, Dominic.
Remember about year and a half ago, you and I went out to the desert. I wanted to film a couple of things, and we stopped. We were down in the wash, and we saw where water had come through.
Mm-hmm.
You picked up one of those instruments.
Yep.
Remember where we were at?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that was one of the places that I took people. And guess what they were finding in there, Kevin?
I don't know, gold.
Well, first they found the coffee grounds, and in the coffee grounds was the gold.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. Now, somebody on here had a message, that we do have so much information at our tips, like they had on there, Google, you can find old maps and things like that. But it's like, think about it. I mean, if you can't get up to a high point and look down, I'm not saying everybody needs this, but we all have, a drone. Go get a drone. That'll do most of your work, to kind of show you where some of the washes are or whatever. But if you have a buggy, just drive around. We uncovered so many different locations for digging, and people were finding gold in these locations. It's out there. You just got to work a little bit.
Keep talking.
No, I'm done. I just want to hear you cough. You okay there, brother? Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I don't think drinking the bleach has worked so well yet.
It'll kick in. It'll kick in.
Okay.
But no, the really cool thing is, out in your desert, we uncovered a handful of locations that we were bringing people into. And then from that, some people were going out trying to find their own little places that they can go find, which was a beautiful thing. The bottom line is this small group of people were finding gold. It's out there, but you have to be willing to work for it. And I can tell you, there was one lady that had, one of her phalanges was, tied up because she couldn't use it. She had sprained part of her wrist or whatever. She was with one hand scooping dirt into a bucket, and then that one arm would carry that bucket over to where her husband was because he was running the dry washer.
Right.
It was teamwork, and they made it work. And they were both, believe it or not, singing because they were running a puffer, not a blower, and you can hear it, but smiling because after their first cleanup, they kind of did a little bit of dry panning.
Right.
They saw some color and they said, yep, we're going to keep right here. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. You doing okay there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Hey,
Yeah.
Did Ed ever show up for this thing, or are we just going to run it ourselves?
I think we're just going to run it ourselves. I think Ed might be there somewhere, but I have no idea where.
Oh, maybe he went to go cook a burger or something.
No, that'd be typical of Ed. Ed's just, he's there. He's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Already
you know what?
Into my key.
You know what? In the gold fields, you are right. I think,
and he's gone again.
I'm probably going to offend a few people here, but if you know me, I don't really care. I know there is a certain percentage of people that love watching reality TV, Gold Rush, all those things. And, it's like, oh my God, we got to get 500 ounces or we're not going to be able to pay for the excavator and blah, blah, blah. And we got to get the flux capacitor fixed and all that. I think that's great. And it's entertainment, but most people are not going to go out and at the end of the day going, yeah, I found 3 ounces. But the bottom line is, you know what? If you go out and you get your half a gram or your gram or 2 grams today, and maybe tomorrow you get a little bit less, but if you keep working at it, you're going to get that ounce file full, and then you're going to start getting the second ounce file full, but you have to be willing to work a little bit.
You do. It's Gold has never jumped out of the ground to anybody. I mean, quite frankly, if gold was that easy to be found, it would be $1.50 a pound. That's all there is to it. And you're exactly right when you're talking about things like that. KB used to have mining Thursdays, and that was a trip somewhere, and they'd go out, they'd work for 3 or 4 hours as long as he could.
Hang on, Kevin. Hang on. Sorry. Alaska Gold Hunter has a message there that says Italian Bar was fun to visit over 20 years ago. My question, Alaska Gold Hunter, is why aren't you going there now?
Yeah. Why haven't you been back to my favorite? I can't say that. One of my favorite, my very first camp.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. You need to get back to Ibar. The road hasn't changed. It's either, 5.9 miles around the mountain down into camp, or it's a straight 1 mile straight down and you won't make it to camp.
Well, there is that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Kevin, I interrupt you, but
No. There was something that popped up about Scott Bar, and it went away too fast. I didn't see it.
That was from Justin again, Alaska Gold Hunter. Scott Barr was another fun one. I was the glorious young rock mover.
Oh man, everybody needed you. So that was 20 years ago. All right.
I found my actual biggest chunk of gold I've ever found at Scott Barr.
Did you?
Oh, in 93.
Yep.
Look, Kevin, Ed's trying to get back into his own show right now.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay.
Making it about Ed. He's just. He's
poor guy. Yeah, he'll never have the two of us on again.
Well,
I don't know about that, Kevin. I might have you on more often.
Well, as you know, I'm always open as long as I'm around. So
the funny thing is, Ed thought I was so quiet last time. My demeanor, just hey, it was low key, just chopping it up. Him and I said, but you get Kevin and I on, it's no hold bars. We got stuff to say.
No holds barred.
Hey, Alaska Gold Hunter, I want to tell you there's a new technology. It's called an airplane, straight out of Anchorage. It'll come all the way down. You can hit Seattle, then you can hit Sacramento, get in the car. Italian Bar's about hour and a half, 2 hours from Sacramento Airport.
Make sure you get the insurance so you can drive it like you stole it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I talking about before you interrupted me?
I have no idea. Sorry. Squirrel.
Alaskans are high grading the chat. Wow. Don't let anybody tell you you're a high grading. You're not a high grader. You're welcome. You're welcome to this one. No. Okay, whatever.
That's right. Everybody's welcome here.
Everybody's welcome. There's no such thing as high grading.
Yeah.
Look, we'll run out of stuff to talk about in about 3 hours, so we can just go from there. Ed, give us some topics that are popping up that we can address and maybe answer some questions. Or
what the hell are you doing?
There was one.
Hang on, Ed. I am doing things properly. I am wearing my IEMs. Ed is wearing his IEMs.
And I'm just going El Natural.
Which caused us to completely shut down. God knows how many viewers we lost in the transition. And thank you all that did make the transition over to here. But I know Ed took the blame for it, but he's been trying. He was just.
Here's the question: explain what a high grader is.
High grader.
Somebody that gets all A's.
That's the dumbest answer I've ever heard. God almighty. Oh. Well, there's two types of high graders. There's the high grader that's working their claim, and they're only going after the high grade ore, which is the ones that we like because they're the ones that make all the money right on the front end. Most of the time, after they've made that money, they walk away from their claim. Somebody else comes in later on, and a lot of times they make 5 to 10 times more amount of gold than what they did there. That's the good high grader. The bad high grader is the high grader that's on my claim right now that doesn't have permission to be on my claim, has no business being on my claim, is in the Western United States, is performing a nice little act called mineral trespass, which, by the way, is a federal offense. Mineral trespass
Isn't it
is.
actually like a Class A felony
Yes,
to
it is.
claim jump?
It is. And it's weird because if you go into some of the Western, if you go into some of the Western BLM states and you read some of their old laws that they haven't taken off the books yet, shooting a man dead on your claim is still legal in a couple of states.
Yeah,
You'll
isn't
never get away.
Arizona one of those?
No. Arizona
Oh.
changed the law. Arizona changed one of those laws. I think there's still one of the counties that may have that on the books, but believe me, it'll never fly. I mean, it would never fly. So don't think you can go out and do something like that. It's just some places are a little slow to clean up their old. Never mind. I don't want to go down that one. So that's high graders. What else? Ed, come on, man. Producer, give us some stuff to
Gold
talk
Hunter
about.
77 from Southwest Oregon. What are Kevin's plans for 2025? Can we expect more Gold Trails videos in Southwest Oregon?
Oh, great question. I had to make a couple of changes within the Gold Trails format. The first year that I went out, I worked with close to 2,000 GPAA members and LDMA members and non-members. You know what? I don't care who shows up at the Gold Trails. And I did those, quite frankly, I did them for free. And it was a huge outgo. I spent 36 weeks on the road. And yeah. And I had to find a home for Gold Trails. And what my first thought was Italian bar. Because in the old premise of Gold Trails, it was just show up, spend a few hours going over geology, talking about water, which for the last 1.5 or 1.8 billion years is the most important thing you can understand is water. And then going out and putting everything they learn into practicality. And every site was a little bit different. Everything was a little bit different. Long story short, I had to make a lot of changes with that. So what I've done is I've written a complete Gold Trails handbook. It is a complete handbook that takes you through really the basics of geology, what you really need to know, which is what type of deposits that you're looking at and a few other things. And the rest of it is understanding water, really, truly understanding water and not the way of water, but the ways of water or the way of waters, meaning plural, different types of waters. And that's had the biggest impact. And doing that and then deciding to use iBar as the home base and the home for Gold Trails has been a pretty huge step. And using iBar as that, because one of the things, everything I talk about, we can walk to at iBar. When I'm talking about geological foliation and talking about diaperic action and epithermal, hydrothermal, mesothermal, and getting into foliation and how all of these things and these events happened, and how it placed the gold into the areas to where erosion has now released that gold. If you understand the deposits and you understand what you're looking for, and then you understand how the water affects that, then you're successful. So, and that's it. That's what will make you successful. So, with all that said, I chose IBAR. Not because it was the first LDMA camp, not because it's one of the. It's a place that I spent hundreds and hundreds of days at IBAR over the years, and the time that I got to spend with George and Perry and Tom and all of them was absolutely amazing to me before George passed away, and just the conversations and everything else like that. So I'm sorry, I'm going to start just going back into old memories and thinking about just those days and everything else. But the bottom line is that will I get out? Yes, I'm working on 2025 to be able to do a very limited run, and because of the way that the BLM is designed and other things like that, I'm going to do things a little bit differently, to where there is actually a classroom, where there's a spot where people can sit and they can learn, instead of trying to follow me around all over hell and half of Georgia. Because when I start moving, I'm going, and if it's up the side of the hill, I'm going up the side of the hill. I mean, that's all there is to it. There was a couple of things that happened where we didn't really regulate the number of people that came, and I had Steve. Believe me, I won't forget that. I had a huge amount of people that showed up for a couple of the events, and I felt horrible because it was just me. And at one of them, I had over 90 people and 2 days. And how can I give almost 100 people truly personalized attention in that such of a short time span? So it really got to me. And there's things I just want to do to make things different. So sorry, gang, that was a hell of a long way around the cup to get back to the handle to say, yes, I am planning on doing some other things. And I will make sure that everybody knows. We're working on budget right now. So that is, that's a big thing, understanding budget and understanding everything else that we've got. And then I'll figure out what I can do after that. And then keep an eye on the Gold Trails Facebook page, the GPA magazine, the GPA Facebook page. I'm sorry, yeah, GPA Facebook page, and more importantly, the GPA YouTube page. So, and there will probably be if everything works out properly right now, there will be a Gold Trails event in October that's going to coincide with the Placer Pete event. So it'll either be 3 days prior or 3 days after the Placer Pete event. So yeah, let's just keep an eye on all of it.
I think somebody's trying to sell you.
VM always here for the trade if you want, Kevin. I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Scott Swiftwater.
In the Goldfields is Scott Swiftwater?
Right.
What does he know about Goldfields? He lives over in New River.
And let me see, if I remember once or twice, you had Scott Swiftwater as a speaker.
Yeah, I did.
A gold show.
Yeah,
and if I remember right, you were rather proud of how he did.
I am very, I tease Swifty
You're not
mercilessly.
the only one.
I pound on. I just absolutely beat up on him every opportunity I have. And there's a reason for that, because Scott is not only a really good prospector, he's one hell of a miner. And he is a guy that if he called me up and said, hey, let's go. I've got something I'm looking at. I'm there. And he's somebody that I would pick up the phone and say, hey, pack it up. Let's go. We're going to go over here. We're going to take a look at some stuff. He's a good miner. And I don't care what those guys at Prospectors Radio say about him. The only problem I have with Scott with Swifty is Manny. That's really the only problem I have with him.
Well, Manny has a whole damn family now too.
What? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just wonder what Lisa thinks.
I'd love to hear that answer as well. So come on, Swifty. Tell us what Lisa thinks about Manny and the family.
Maybe we'll hear that this coming Sunday over at Prospectors Radio.
If I'm back, if I'm well enough to, I'm expecting to get my butt kicked right now. So if I'm better, I will definitely be in there. Hey, Dominic.
Yeah. I thought Ed was taking over for me.
Oh, you want me to take over for you too?
But no, I was just I'm watching the chat, and Graveyard Prospector was saying that they really need to get a membership. So I was just letting them know, depending on where they want to go, GPAA and or LDMA has great places for them to go find their gold, which I believe is a pretty accurate statement. So, a lot of people have dual memberships. A lot of people have one or the other. Bottom line is, I think we have something that covers just about everything.
Sure, we absolutely do. And I know that there was somebody. I know there was. I'm sorry.
I was just jumping in, of course, a little, but I believe my LDMA membership also gives me a lifetime GPAA membership as well.
So yours does. A few years ago, what we did is we found that there were a lot of LDMA members that really were not utilizing the GPA side of it.
Hang on. Ed, get back in here. You can just sit there quietly, but it's not like we're not running you out of your own show. Come on. Hang out with us. Tuesday night, hang out live. Hang out with us.
You got it, buddy. You got it.
But just remember, at any given time, we will ask you to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back to it as, a lot of the older ones are a dual membership, and they were lifetime. What we started doing a couple years ago is we broke them apart, because some people were like, well, I don't utilize the GPA side, I just want to utilize the LDMA side, or vice versa. So right now, as I speak, you can get GPAA all by itself, you can get LDMA all by itself, or you can get them as a dual membership. I will say that one of the other things that LDMA has done a few years ago is they, sometimes today's people hear lifetime and like, I don't know how long I'm going to be there. So we started offering annual. You okay there, Kevin?
Reed, put that panel back up. Put that panel back up. Put that panel back up. Oh.
I feel you, Kevin. I feel you. I think Swiftwater's still trying to figure out who sent him Manny.
Dominic, I'm sorry. You don't know who Manny is, do you?
Kevin, let me put it this way. Years ago, you introduced me to somebody named SpongeBob. Yeah. I really didn't need to know that. Is Manny like another version of this?
No, well, Manny is a quiet version of Spot. I can't even do it. Oh God! Does anybody have a picture that we can post of Manny? Hey, Scott, Scott, send a picture. Send a picture of Manny to Ed so he can post it up. Can you post in here? Can you post photos in here, Ed?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Send
Let's
it
get
to
a.
my messenger, Swiftwater.
I'm sorry, Dominic. Please go ahead.
I got nothing.
The whole family, Scott.
Oh
No.
yeah, everybody, the entire family.
I just love how dysfunctional us prospectors are.
No, we're
And
not
we all have
dysfunctional.
that crazy lunatic, aunt or uncle. And Kevin, I think you're the crazy ass uncle right now.
I've been called worse. I've been called worse this week. Oh yeah,
Apparently.
oh yeah. Include the doggy.
Are we crossing the line right now?
Well, in some countries, yes.
Some countries, yes. Maybe not in Bangkok, but definitely some places.
Do you remember Dominic? Do you remember the movie Dodgeball?
Yeah.
When what's his name said that was a hell of a movie. You know, in some countries you have to pay extra for that. Oh.
Ed, what kind of crazy ass show do you have going on?
A very humorous one tonight.
You know what? I agree with Gold Hunter. $9.99 a month. Yeah, absolutely. You deserve that.
Gold Hunter, thanks for the super chat, brother.
Oh man, did he do a super chat?
Yep, Gold Hunter 77. Thank you, Kevin, for the
Way to go, buddy.
chat.
Way to go, man. Thank you very much. Because whatever you guys super chat tonight is the only way Dominic and I are getting paid.
We're getting paid?
Okay, we just kind of fell into the hole. Somebody pick it up and start talking. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Oh
my gosh.
Oh, I just can't wait for the picture of Manny. So there was a question earlier about cost and so on like that.
Yeah, it was Megadog 555 here. He's from New York, and he was asking about the cost for a GPAA membership.
Okay.
Earlier.
And I'm not. It's not. I'm not alluding, or I'm not like trying to get away from this question, but right now in the holidays, there's a lot of stuff going on. If you go to the GPA store, there's levels. I mean, there are different things that you can look at, and some of them, and that's on the LDMA side and the GPA side. Oh, and Ed, I got a bone to pick with you. I'm sorry. I'm just going to jump in on this one right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you were looking for clickbait when you put up the title of this thing. GPA versus LDMA.
Well, I know they're one and the same almost, but yeah.
Was that clickbait? You expected like an all-out, drag-out, nasty fight and everything else like that, or
no, not a fight, just a comparison between the two.
Here's one of the biggest differences. On the GPAA side, you got a bald guy running it. And on the LDMA side, you got a guy with hair. It may be white, but you got a guy with hair. So the difference between the two is one is for bald and one is for hair. It's that simple.
Hey, you need to go fix your toupee. Thank you. That actually helped a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out what this beaver tail is coming out of the right side of your head.
Window was down on my drive.
Oh, gotcha. Hold it. Window was down on your drive?
Yeah.
Are you driving the did you drive the Sunbeam
No.
with the left-hand drive to where your right-hand side? Okay. Just
No.
wanted to make sure. All right.
So you're the whole way on my Schwinn.
Shovels
Okay,
and picks or weapons.
Here you'll get an idea, Dominic, what we're talking about.
Oh God, you've got it.
Let me set up this picture for you.
Okay, and then I want to answer shovels or picks. Go ahead.
Okay. Scott Swiftwater Tony is in the frame, and Manny's wife, Manny's kid. I don't see the dog behind him, but here you go, everybody. There's Manny.
I thought it was a mannequin.
There's Manny the mannequin. There's Mrs. Manny the mannequin.
Who absolutely looks like she's done way too many hits of acid.
And there's Manny Jr.
Now, Dom, you have to understand this.
I don't want to.
Scott came to a Gold Trails event with Manny in the passenger seat of the truck.
Was the kid with them too? The one on the bottom?
No, because
the dog is there. The dog
Where?
is there.
Where? Oh,
Kind of an ugly outline, but
kind of an ugly dog.
But there he is, right there.
Wow.
Manny has been places that no somebody should not be. Manny has done things that would get you arrested in some states.
Wow.
So, I know. Yeah, hey,
gonna
everybody, hold
on.
Let me say this real quick. Manny is a location joke. It's one of those things that you have to be there to truly understand and appreciate what Manny has done and what Manny is. So I'm sorry. We may lose it. Ed and I may absolutely lose it all over Manny and everything else. But if you've seen Manny in some of the places that Manny has shown up, you would understand why we're this way. All right, go ahead, Dominic. Take over. I'm going to quit talking for a little bit. I need to get my voice back.
Don't believe it, but okay.
Okay.
All right, back to the question that was up there: pick or shovel. And then I'll get to Steve's question right there. So, pick or shovel. Personally, I'm all about a rotary hammer because it's a lot easier than a pick, and you can move a lot more ground, and then you can either use your shovel just to pick up instead of beating the side of the hill. So I'm about, and I usually use a battery operated one because it's just easier than carrying a generator. That's my preference. So go with that one. Steve,
check on state regulations and what they're going to allow and disallow before you take anything out there like that, please.
You can do that too.
That was the PSA.
Okay. I'm just doing it up on your claim, so it's not a big deal.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey man, my claim is anything up to a that would be a 450 Hitachi.
Oh, Bedrock Bennett, I have to answer this question. So, and I'll bring Steve, I'll come back into your question too. So basically in 1968, 1969, Gold Prospectors Association of America was formed. It was started. A few years later, in 1976, they were going to all these claims and finding gold, and they wanted to do a little bit more work. So then George, our founding father, started the Lost Dutchman Mining Association. Here's the difference. GPAA is about claims and leases. Leases more back east where there's no claims. LDMA is about the property that it owns. That's why you know, if you're on BLM land, you can stay up to 14 days usually. LDMA, you can stay up to 6 months before you have to move on to the next LDMA camp. Though that's your primary difference. But I have spoken a lot lately around some. You okay there, Kevin? Good. One of the things that I've done with LDMA is around our Stanton property here in Arizona, I also have an additional approximately 500 acres of claims. So I call those exclusive to our LDMA members. Non-members, GPA members can go on them when we're hosting an event in the areas that we were at. Other than that, they're not allowed on there. I also have a plan of operation in the one outside of Stanton here. And when I say you could stay at Stanton, then you drive about 3.5 miles out, you hit our start of our 500 acres. So we have a plan of operation, which means our backhoe, our grizzly, we can take it out there and we can dig, you know, so much, let you guys have some fun, and then we reclaim it and move on to the next area. So that's one of the differences between GPAA and LDMA. Steve was asking cost. I can tell you, if you want to know the cost for GPA membership, you're going to want to go to gpaastore.com. They have, I don't keep up to date on what the cost is of those memberships, but I think even Ed was saying earlier, they have different, you know, packages or plans where you get more stuff. But right now, and I know for the next, it ends on the 15th, they're giving away buku load of gold. You know, they have pay dirt bags going out with all these memberships that people are either getting brand new or renewing on. So you'll definitely want to look on gpaastore.com. You know, I'll say the best special or best offering is happening right now that comes with pay dirt. If you're interested in the Lost Dutchman or the LDMA, you can go to myldma.com. They have the membership offerings. I will say they still hold the lifetime LDMA, where you'll pay us, you know, they start around $2,000 and go up from there, depending if you're going to get transferability or equipment or different things like that. You can pay it in full, or you can put $100 down, pay $100 a month till it's paid off. We also have annual, like if you want to try out LDMA, or maybe you're a little bit older in years and you go, hey, I don't want a lifetime. We have an annual. Usually it's about $550 for the year. And then we also recently have started a pay-as-you-go monthly. You know, you can stop it at any time you want. I think if you go online right now, you can put $100 for your first month, and then it just locks in at $50 a month for as long as you want to go. So a lot of different options compared to when, you know, say Ed got his membership years ago. So, and of course, right now, I think they have one option where if you did that $50 a month, you know, you could look at your investment of about $600 for a year. Well, you're going to get a pay dirt bag at the start, and then you're going to get like a $250 pay dirt bag at the end of 12 months after you've paid it. So that there's a special going on with that. So, you know, hang in there, get more gold. And in the same instance, enjoy our camps. You know, our camps, you can come in, you know, here at Stanton or Blue Bucket in Oregon, and, you know, for a 50 amp, you know, hookup site, you know, you're going to pay $18 a night. If you're not a member, you'd be paying $55. You know, we're still a far better deal. But, you know, I know Steve and I were talking in California. You go to a site right now, you're going to pay between $70 and $100 a night just to go camping for a hookup site. So we have great places to come to, and each camp is uniquely different, has different amenities. So there's your big long pitch. Hopefully I put all those questions in one big long answer. The bottom line is, the GPAA or myldma.com. Go to the memberships, and that's where you will learn what the active payments are right now. Perfect. I have 8 detectors in the living room and 3 more on the way. Well, Barbara,
Barb, what she does, Barb, every year, Dominic, she organizes like a Christmas giveaway for young children in a certain age group. I forget the demographics, but it's like 8 to 10 or 8 to 15, something like that, where she gets some detectors, spades, gold pans, something to get them out treasure hunting. Oh, 5 to 15. Um, and she's a big part of the metal detecting community, and that's more of the things. But I know she's gotten pay dirt. She has a prospector's dream adventure sleuth heading her way, and so that's what she was talking about right there.
Okay, there's somebody commented on the picture that's behind me. Why Gold's metal detecting adventure. It's not Scott. This is actually up on the hill at our Blue Bucket camp in Eastern Oregon, in Huntington, Oregon. And what you're seeing is, I can do this right. All right here is good pay ready to go. Right above, we took a couple feet of overburden and moved it away. And people are basically working that way and grabbing their gold. So that is Eastern Oregon. If you really want to know, that was at about 82 degrees, slight breeze out of the west. It was really good surfing weather if you wanted to, but people were filling their buckets, they're classifying, bringing it down to the pond and running it in their high bankers, and just nice chunky gold up there. Kevin can contest to this, that a lot of the gold that comes in certain places. What are you laughing about? I'm not going to say rose gold. A lot of people call it elusive rose gold. It's actually orange. It's burnt.
It's dirty. It's just dirty.
It's dirty.
What, iron stained?
It's sulfur and iron.
Or
It was where the fire was. The cool thing about it is when you're digging that, you'll actually see that pay layer, that orange pay layer streak go right across. And that's where you want to high grade and grab that, if you want to use those words. But
good high grade.
Great gold. People don't think it's gold, but it is. You can clean it up if you really wanted to, but it's beautiful. It's orange. It's burnt, and it's worth the same amount as your gold you get anywhere else.
Hey Ed, that picture I sent over to you earlier. That picture I sent over to you earlier of the Axiom nuggets on Messenger. Can you pop that one up?
Yeah.
You doing okay, Ed?
Let me get to it. Hopefully, yeah, I'm doing fine. I just hope my computer is. How's the stream going, everybody?
Other than Kevin and I think it's going great.
I guess I.
Okay, you know what? We've done a lot of kidding around. We've had a lot of fun, but if there's any questions that either one of us can field, please feel free to ask.
Okay, the Garrett Axiom one, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have a few tabs open, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Getting there. No worries, brother. No worries. Yeah, about ready to share it.
So, Kevin, there's a question: what's new on the GPAA side? And somebody wants to know if we've made it to Canada. I did some prospecting in Montreal a couple of years ago. Great steakhouses, great pubs. Didn't find any gold, but the food was delicious.
Well, in Canadian whiskey, kind of a golden color.
I don't know. I was slamming it down so fast. I guess I didn't tell.
Yeah. Okay. On the online mining guide, we have Canada is a little bit different as far as American prospectors are concerned and different things like that. I spent a lot of time working with Luigi on getting some of the more popular but out of the way areas that are open for prospecting, kind of like being down here in the lower 48 with some of these mining areas, these open for the public areas. So they are listed in the printed mining guide, but I don't think that we have them all listed in the online mining guide. So your printed mining guide will show that has a section for British Columbia and going into British Columbia. Yeah. And then getting up into some of those other areas. That is a lot like what your Burnt River Gold will look like. Now that's not, I wanted to pop that one up. So if you see it, even the small pieces, when you see those little tiny small pieces like that, I've watched people almost throw that stuff away because they just thought it was nothing more than ganj material, orange rocks and different things like that. So just wanted to have him throw that one up and interject that. That actually is Arizona gold, though.
So, Kevin, Steve had a question. What is the major differences between California desert gold and Arizona desert gold?
Copper.
If any?
Copper. California gold has a great deal less of a copper content to it. Arizona gold, being Arizona is we're the copper state. You'll see gold that has a little bit more of a little bit of a reddish. I'm not even going to call it reddish because it's almost imperceptible unless you put it next to a piece of California gold. So for me, that's really the biggest difference is the copper content. Some of the Southern California areas, the gold is very pure, very, very highly pure because of the just the geology and the volcanic action, the tectonic action, that just the amount of time that a lot of that material had to percolate and within the hydrothermals and even the epithermals. So yeah, there is a distinct difference between California gold and Arizona desert gold. If you took a line and you took it from the Placer Peak claim and you went east right into Arizona and you stayed on that line and you were picking up gold from all these different areas across there, you would definitely see the differences in the purity of the gold or the color of the gold.
Not sure if that really answered the question of how Steve wanted it. Like, hey, if I'm over at Duesenberg, I'm digging about 12 inches down until I hit Caliche, and that's where my gold is. It's real easy to do. If I'm over here in Arizona, I'm in the washes, and I'm looking where the water may have gone. I'm looking for some vegetation. Desert's desert. Purity of gold, yes, is a little bit different, but how I hunt for gold is just a little bit different in Arizona. This is where Gold Hunter 77, I'm going to be very honest with you, and other people have heard me say this. What metal detector would I suggest in the $1,000 range for a beginner looking for small gold nuggets or large pickers? This is where, if Kevin gets back on the screen, If you look at Kevin right now, he's starting to turn red. He's going to get really upset because I truly don't metal detect.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was still live. I thought I was on mute.
So I have not personally slowed down to actually metal detect myself. Do I know a lot about it? Yes. Can I help teach a little bit? A little bit, yes. My preferred stick that I swing is actually two of them. I use dowsing rods. That's where Kevin goes, no, voodoo sticks. They work for me. Do I go hunting for nuggets and pickers? No, I don't. I'm really going to move this one to Kevin, but my first question that I would have is, first of all, where are you going hunting? Because we got to think about mineralization, where you're hunting at before we just start picking out, do we want a bounty? Do we want a gold monster? Do we want a Garrett 24K? Noctis coming out with a new pulse induction one. Do I get, $500 more out of you and say, go to a Mine Lab Manicore? So in order to answer this question, there's the generic that maybe Kevin will jump in and answer. But to give you a real good answer, where you're going hunting is really what we need to know first. So, Kevin, forget that I said voodoo sticks.
Probably
You're not
like
ready
south.
anymore. Southwest Oregon, placer gold in
probably
bedrock
mostly
cracks.
Southwest Oregon.
Southwest Oregon.
There you go.
So we were talking about Josephine, Jackson County, getting down into those areas, the Applegate, all of those areas through there. Mineralization is really equalized all the way through those areas. Look, here's the thing. I will never tell you that one detector is better than the other, and I will never give you and say, this is the machine you need to go buy. For those of you that don't know, I spent 12 years working for Mine Lab in development. So there's and I built my very first metal detector when I was 9 years old, and I've never quit playing and messing around with all of that. Dominic's very right. Is there one metal detector?
Sorry, what did you say?
Dominic was kind of partially right in a way that was kind of like a really backsided, offhanded. Could have been a proper answer, but we'll just leave it at that. Read my lips. Look, if you're in the $1,000 range, there's three machines that I really want you to take a look at. Actually, four machines that I really want you to take a look at and think about what you're going to do, how you're going to progress, and how much control do you want to have over the machine, and will you, if it's something you just want to go swing, or is it something that you want to grow into and have some other possibilities? The four machines that I absolutely recommend that are within that the sub $1,000 range is, of course, the Mine Lab Gold Monster 1000. Great machine. Basically, you turn it on and go. There's some things that you can do that will allow you to
Dowsing rods, Steve.
I'm going to say this because he's poked me enough to where I'm going to say this. If dowsing rods worked all of the time, there would be no such thing as Mine Lab, Fisher, Garrett, Nocta, any of those. Okay, I've said it.
Can we agree to disagree?
Of course we can agree. Look, do I believe in dowsing? Of course I do. Do I believe it works for everybody? If you could. I'm a hell of a water dowser, but whatever. So the four machines that I'm going to recommend: the Gold Monster, the Garrett 24K, and when I say the Garrett 24K, I mean the Garrett 24K. I had one of the original 24Ks when they were built. I have the GMX, which is the waterproof version of the 24K, all under the White's name. Of course, nobody at Garrett is going to tell me, and I have no expectation of them doing that, of the subtle changes that they made on the Garrett 24K. But I will tell you, those changes were substantial enough that, wow, this is going to be a tough one to say, because there's going to be a lot of people that do not like what I'm going to say. If you have a pre-Garrett 24K, if you have a White's 24K and you put a Garrett 24K in your hands, you will think that you are dealing with a completely different metal detector. Completely different metal detector. The next one in the list is the Fisher Goldbug 2. The newest version, or the part due of that, has been surprising to me. I had a hard time really getting rid of my 1996 Goldbug 2, but it finally just gave up, and there's really no way to repair it. And I got one of the new fish. Pardon? Oh,
we were buffering a little bit.
Wow, you're buffering really bad right now, brother.
Yeah.
I'll talk really slow. So after you get a Fisher Goldbug 2, spend a lot of time with the machine. All right. And then the last one, which I think is so underrated and people just don't give it the opportunity, is the Nocta, the Nocta Goldfind 2000. I mean, it is an incredibly powerful machine, and you have a lot of control with the machine, and so on like that. The 3 of the 4 machines that I mentioned, you have complete and total control. The Goldbug is still, as the Goldbug originally was, a fully manual metal detector, and I love that full manual, but it's not for everybody. It's truly not for everybody. The other 2 machines, the Nocta and the Goldmaster, I'm sorry, the 24K, you can run it in either an automatic mode, and you can learn about the machine, and then you can grow into the machine and everything else like that, and have something more that you can do in the future. And the Gold Monster is it's just a killer machine coming out of the gate. I mean, that's all there is to it. My first 2 years with the Gold Monster, I had 437 pieces of gold before I finally hit an ounce. I mean, I had sub-grainers. I had things that were in the 1 and 2 grain category. And then I had some that on my extremely high-end scale barely registered. Barely. I mean, we're talking about 100 or tenths of a grain, not a gram, a grain. So, yeah. And you can get those results. It's what are you willing to put into it? What are you willing to spend your time? You spend the money, you make an investment, you buy a metal detector. If you have the expectation that you're going to go out there, turn it on, wave it in the air, and gold's going to jump out of the ground at you, that's just not going to happen. And one of the things that I talk about, if you really think about it, metal detecting for gold is one of, if not the hardest prospecting you will ever do, because there is no instant gratification to it. You are going to sometimes have skunk days, sometimes have great days. But the bottom line is that
I don't know.
Are we dying out here?
You're coming across good to me, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's more on it.
We're going through a rough patch. I think we're back for a moment. bunch of stuff on my end, so it's kind of better, but
Kevin, if
uh-oh.
I can jump in real quick,
Please.
I think
I need to stop for a moment
I can
anyway.
tell that. That's why we partner up. I think because I've been watching, some of the comments going on,
They're
and
saying they're good there. Megadog, you're okay here. Minor Ma Gold, okay. You're okay. All good here. Terry from Australia, good here. Brian Wilder.
Whoa. Terry who? Terry, is this my buddy Terry from Australia?
If it's Terry Lefty Marshall, Yahoo Gold Prospecting with Terry, one and the same.
Oh, okay.
Opal miner, gold miner.
Now this was a Terry that I worked with at Mine Lab.
Oh,
but if I come back, like you said, Kevin, what I hate is when people say, $1,000 or they give a dollar amount. Really, what are you going to do? Because you have to be prepared. What I was told was, if you're gonna get into metal detecting, you're going to just to learn your detector and start to become proficient. You're going to put in 1,000 hours. Now think about it. 1,000 hours is a half a year working 40 hours a week, which
Yep.
most of us don't have that time to go out and learn a detector. We're here and there, or we're like Barb with 27 detectors at her house, and which one is she going to use next? You also want to look at, where are you going? What is your expectation? I saw a couple of different comments on, I wish I can get the Axiom. It's out of my price range. Maybe it is, and maybe it's too much detector, but I can tell you, there's a guy that was using a MineLab 7000. It was not his machine, but he was basically buying it off of his uncle, $9,000, and he was swinging and he was finding nuggets galore in the area that he was working. I had Garrett out at Stanton, and this guy came by and he's, I'll never switch. Well, now he uses an Axiom. One, it's a little bit lighter, and he's still finding the same big nuggets that he was. Again, he spends a lot of time on that detector.
That's his job. That is his job.
He is a professional swinger.
He's a miner. He's a professional miner.
He is.
And that's just one of his tools.
So
there you go.
If you're just thinking about, hey, I want to get a detector, I want to start to get into it, is it $1,000? Is it $400? What is it that you should get started? But if you're not gonna put the time in to learn that detector, don't spend anything. Use dowsing rods like I do. And I that goes for detecting. Sorry, Kevin, I had to. I'm not sorry, but that goes for, going out in the desert, going in the river, going on the mountain, wanting to prospect and dig for gold. If you don't put that time in to learn that geology or whatever, you're not going to get much out of it. Just my couple of cents in there, because there's a lot of great machines. I know at one point people were trying to figure out, well, what's the difference, between a MineLab Gold Monster and a Garrett AT Gold. Well, if I understood what Kevin had said at one time, he's like, well, there's gold you can find with the Garrett AT Gold that the Monster might not find, because you can adjust more settings on the AT Gold. But the Monster is an easier set it and forget it kind of machine, even though you're still going to find hot rocks, you're still going to find iron, you're still going to find all kinds of stuff. It's what level are you going to work with that piece of equipment? How are you going to learn it? It's a relationship. It's learning and trusting. This question has popped up, and Kevin, if you're good to speak a little bit, I'll let you go first. The question is, how has GPAA LDMA changed your life? And if you could change one thing about GPAA, what would it be and why?
Oh God, how has GPA changed my life? Well, this is, quite frankly, this is an emotional, it really is an emotional subject for me because I've been a member of this organization since 1976. I joined the GPAA in 1976. I was born in 1961, so figure that one out. George told me that I couldn't join the LDMA until I turned 21 because there was a contract and some other things that were involved with it, and so on like that. But then I went off, and I was off in other parts of the world and doing other things, and also working in the oil field and some things. And I finally got around to joining the LDMA in 1984, and I've been around these two organizations as just one entity for me since, like I said, the 1970s. And the thing that has always been the core of everything that I've done and everything I learned, and all these different and all the aspects of it is not, it's not just about, it's never, I don't even know how to say this properly without it sounding kind of passive or whatever. For me, it's always been the people. I've met people back in the 70s and the early 80s that they're still some of my very best friends, more so than some of the people I went to high school with, or went to college with, or any of those things like that. The opportunities of getting out and being able to go to a claim or go to a property, and knowing that I'm prospecting in an area that has proven gold on it, and really for me the ability to help others just get into this has been the driving force for me. What would I change? I can't say that I would change that much about the GPA or the LDMA, because these are two organizations that have unfortunately had to keep up with the rest of the world and the things that go on in the world, which means that there's been, you have to make price adjustments, you have to do this, you have to do that, and there's been some times where just because of particular states putting in very particular rules and regulations and rewriting different things, where I've been forced to make really hard decisions, like how can I justify keeping a dredging claim in a state where there's no dredging? And that's me as a GPAA, an executive, same as Dominic, as both of us being in that. It also frees up things to be able to go out and find other claims in different areas and work with other claim owners and different things like that. We've had this saying around the LDMA for years about when you go to an LDMA camp, it just, when I go to Stanton, I'm not going to Stanton, I'm going home. When I go to I-Bar, I'm not going to Italian Bar, I'm going home. I mean, I-Bar, I can't, I've spent more time at I-Bar than I've probably spent at any LDMA camp ever. And gosh, I was down there doing a gold trails, and a guy showed up, and he stood there and he looked at me and we were pretty good distance. And he just stood there for a while, and he walked up and didn't say a word, walked up behind me and put his hands on my shoulders. And next thing I knew, the guy was just giving me a great big bear hug. And I turned around, and it was a very aged gentleman. He's now in his 90s, that 40 years ago I went prospecting with out at Italian Bar. And it's those things like that. It's that those are the things that that have made this organization what I truly have believed in for all of these years. You know, do we get kicked around a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going to get kicked around and different things like that. And is every decision the right decision? Sometimes it's not, but we have to make decisions based upon the overall of what we can do and what's going to be in the long run, what's going to be the very, very best for the membership. And that's one of the things that I know that I've always been focused on is the educational piece and bringing more education and just living those three things that the buzzard said, sitting around the campfire. And I was talking about it when I was talking about Julie. You know, we're all sitting around the campfire one night. We were just talking, and George kind of leaned back a little bit, and he said, "You guys are the core. I mean, you guys are the ones that show up all the time, and you're here and you do these things. And I just ask three things of you. I ask only three things. Make sure that we always have property. Make sure that we're able to keep people informed. Okay, so always have property. The GPAA, even though we have released a number of claims in states where where the claims are basically worthless until something happens, if anything ever happens. And I shouldn't say worthless because that's not true. You can still go in there with a shovel or a sluice, but it's going to be tough to work those areas. Keeping people informed. George had the magazine. We have the internet. We have the magazine. We have YouTube. We have Facebook. We have every way of keeping people informed and letting them know what's going on, and those things. And then the last one is the one that he looked me dead in the eye and said, "Teach." Members helping members become better prospectors, and that's the one that I've always taken to heart. So to me, I've taught a lot of people over the years, and those people are teaching other people. And Gordon Zahara, if any of you know who Gordon Zahara is, Gordon is the guy that wrote great books on the Fisher gold bug and has written tens of thousands of articles and everything else. At the end of every article, he he'd see a signature, and then right below it, it would just say, "Take a kid prospecting." And Gordon has lived by that all these years, and a lot of people have. Take somebody prospecting. Let them understand what it is that we feel when we're out there. You pull a piece of gold. I was having this conversation with somebody that I was doing some video work with over the last week. And I asked them, what is the magic of gold, and what is it that possesses you to really want to go out there? And first off, it was the hunt. It was absolutely the hunt. The second thing is that when you pull that piece of gold out of the ground, you're the first person to ever see it on the face of this planet. And that's just, those are just amazing things when you think about something like that. And then of course it was all about the people. It's about going to places like Placer Pete. It's like going to an LDMA outing or going to a gold trails or any of these things. Being with the people that share your same interest and are absolutely willing to help. We talked about Placer Pete. One of the reasons that I am so in all in with Placer Pete on everything that the owners do is that first and foremost, it's about education. That's it. It's about education. Now it's about getting a lot of education in different fun ways, but it is about the education. All right. That's my story, dude. I'm going to stick with that one, and I'm going to put myself on mute, and I'm going to go blow my nose and take some stuff real quick. take some medication. So I'll
Now
be back.
Dominic
I'll be
can
back in a
put
minute.
in his 2 cents.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, here's my 2 cents, and this first one sounds like a typical joke, but if you look at me, how has GPA LDMA changed my life? 14 years ago, I started with the company. I truly didn't know much about it. I had met George previously in my life, not really understanding who or what he had. And 14 years later, I have silver fox hair. When I started, I had light brown hair. I'm not saying that as a joke, it's the truth. GPA LDMA has been very stressful because my personality, even though you'll see me as a happy-go-lucky, some get the unfortunate hardcore Dominic when I have to put the hammer down on certain things. But like Kevin, I try to go all out to, accommodate people, make people happy, help people. Again, going back to those principles of what George was all about, help and teach. So stress is what LDMA GPA has done for me. But there's so much good behind that because, like Kevin, I have met a whole new family of people. I have so many relationships because of the people. Sometimes people would go, well, tell me about the LDMA or GPA, and you start telling them about it. And, back when LDMA and the dual membership was $4,750, they're like, well, what do you get with that? Truthfully, you get camaraderie. I'm not paying that much for camaraderie. They don't get it. What I love is when we host certain events and people come, we have a lot of brand new people coming into our events that have never done this before. They get so excited and like, gold, they're going to have dirt there, and I'm going to get all this gold. That's all they're thinking about. And they come to an event and they have a good time and fun, and they meet friends. And when they're leaving and they're driving out the gate, the conversations are, oh my God, I met this guy from, Alaska, and oh, this guy over here. Oh, I learned this here. And they're talking about all these good times that they had. And then they'll go, oh yeah, hey, we found some gold too. The gold started coming last. Again, we all want it. We all want to find it. And I love finding natural gold. Obviously, LDMA GPA purchased a lot of gold for the different things that we do out there, whether it was when we were doing gold shows, giving away gold, whether it's pay dirt bag, whatever it may be. And, at certain times, I've had $50,000 to $100,000 worth of gold in my hands. It wasn't that exciting. But yet, if I was here in Oregon behind me, digging in this hill and then working that dirt and getting, half a gram of gold, an eighth of a gram of gold, when I see it in the pan, I get more excited about that than I do seeing pounds of gold. And some may think that's crazy, but like somebody said earlier in the chat, finding that gold is exciting. It's like when we
Oh,
were kids,
yeah,
we
it
played,
is.
hide and seek. Well, we're playing hide and seek and we're trying to find that gold right now. So, GPA LDMA has changed my life in the sense that it's given me different perspectives with my family. It gave me, years ago, my son and I would go outside of Barstow every weekend, and we'd go out, prospecting. We had our routine. We had a nice area. We'd finish after about 6 hours. We'd stop at the Mexican restaurant by the freeway to wash our hands, have some last minute fellowship with other people that were out there, and then we'd head home. I have more memories that are worth so much to me. And then now, as I come into camp, different events, just talking on the phone with people around the country, I have so much more family available to me. And it truly means more to me in my heart than anything else. So it's been a whole new family. I've laughed because, my stepdad one day was talking to me about his metal detector. I didn't know he had one. And he's like, well, yeah, I used to watch this show called Gold Fever, and I bought the membership, but I never really got a place to go out. And I'm like, I work for the freaking company now. So I've been able to actually take my dad out prospecting. I even took him to Alaska when we were running our Alaska expedition. So, would I change anything? It's not that I can change it. I wish we had more time. I wish we all had more time, because what you see is, you'll come into a camp or certain camps, and you'll see some of the same people. Maybe you didn't talk to them for a whole year since the last event, but you pick up right where you left off. And then a couple years later, you don't see those people anymore. What happened to them? And then maybe you'll get that phone call. Oh, well, Earl passed away, or, Earl can't get out there like he used to. And that's what I wish I could change. I wish people had more time. There's a gentleman I met just last week out on one of our claims here near Stanton. He's 93 years old. He's been coming to this area for 18 years.
Wow.
His wife is 89. She can't lift or move the buckets like she used to, but she goes out with him just to hang out with him as he gets his 3 or 4 buckets that he'll bring back to camp to work. But he says his doctor told him the best thing he ever did was get into prospecting, because he's outdoors, breathing air, working his body, and he's not overdoing it. But he's 93 years old and he's still doing it. So a long story to say, I wish we had more time. And that's probably the most humble I could be right now.
Very good. Now, you're a dowser, but you've dabbled with detecting. Gold Hunter 77 said earlier, I wonder if using dowsing rods would. I wonder if using dowsing rods and detectors together would defeat the purpose of both.
Wow.
I'll answer my side. Do I use dowsing rods? I do. I will, to anybody's face, call them voodoo sticks. I think Steve was calling them voodoo. I laugh when I say that, but what I was told a long time ago is if you took 5 people, 2 people, they're going to work almost all the time. 1 person, they're going to work on and off, and 2 people, they're just not going to work. I guess they don't have the right energy. I don't know. But what I can tell you is even my son, when we used to go out, the first thing while I was unloading the truck and the gear, I'd hand him the dowsing rod and say, son, where are we digging today? And we went to a new location. We had some other people with us. And I'm going to tell you, all of us looking at the geology would have been right down at the bottom of the wash. We would have gone there, the quartz rock meeting the red rock, the trumpet bushes, bam, they come together. That's where we're digging. My son was dowsing in about 25 feet up the side of the wash or the hill. He said, Dad, let's dig up here. Everybody told me, Dominic, don't do that. Well, at the end of the day, at the Mexican restaurant, when we had our last fellowship and our last meal before heading home, there was only 2 people that found gold that day, my son and I. I would have really thought they would have found it down in there. Dowsing rods have worked for me. I don't walk around a hill like I'm swinging a metal detector. I'm asking it questions. Is there gold? If it's swinging real fast and they cross, I'll reset it and ask, is it 6 inches down? Is it 12 inches down? I use it like that to decide if I'm going to dig there or not. I can tell you they don't work picking the right lotto ticket numbers. Yes, I've tried that. I truly did. I had to. They don't work that way, but I do truly find gold. If you ask me to find somebody, I can usually find them with my dowsing rods. If I can't see them, it works for me. I don't truly know how that would work with trying to use them with a detector or something like that. I'll let Kevin jump in if his voice.
That actually is a really, really good question that has a multitude of answers for it. I do have a very good friend of mine that can pick an area, and he's really good about picking an area. And he's about 98% efficient of picking the area. We'll get into that area. He'll he'll use his dowsing rods to do a little trending. I'll use my dowsing rods to try to purposely work against him to disprove some areas. And we actually have a lot of fun while we're doing it. So we're working both ends of the spectrum now, and it's got us on some very, very good gold patches. Yeah, so I absolutely believe in the idea of using dowsing rods to maybe nail an area and then working it that way. But dowsing is very specific. It is very specific. You have to ask the right questions. And when I get in this conversation, I love using of an example of some about 35 years ago on the east side of Rich Hill. There was some people that I knew that had a small commercial operation on state trust land, and they hired a dowser to come out, and they gave her very specific questions. And the question was, where is the bedrock? Where is the bedrock? And she told them where the bedrock was. She asked them 5 different times in 5 different ways. And I was standing there are you sure that's how you want to ask that question? Are you sure that's the answer that you're looking for? And so on like that. And they continued on. So they got out their big track hoe, they dug down the bedrock, and they went broke. Absolutely went broke. And they ended up giving up the claim and everything else. Another group of people came in and they ran into her one day and they said, well, you douse that area. Where was the largest deposit of gold that you found? And she said 16 feet. They went back into that area with their excavator. They dug down about 12 to 16 feet. They hit the huge Caliche false bedrock and took a few pounds of gold out of that hole fairly quickly.
Wow.
So the dowsing is very specific. When I water douse, I can douse water like crazy. And I've doused underground water lines, power lines, all sorts of other things. But as far as like, I don't know. I wrote a big article about this, and I worked with Thomas Coughlin, who is a very successful dowser. And my belief system has always been that, and if I'm doing something for the good of a group of people, I'm a really successful dowser. If I'm bringing in water, that's going to be a well that services not just one person, or maybe it's a small little neighborhood or something like that. I've been very, very good at that. But as far as like going out and dowsing for gold for myself, I really have not been successful with that. Maybe it's my mindset. Maybe it's because I've been a technology geek all my life, and going out with a couple of bent cut up hangers just hasn't really thrilled me. And so I don't discount dowsing. I tease Dominic mercifully about it. But it's, there is relevance to it, but I'm not going as Dominic said, you take 5 people, there's going to be some SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what next? There you go. That's my take on voodoo.
Sorry, I was just answering. We've had some people asking. Again, I can talk out loud when I'm doing it, or I'm just thinking, find the gold, cross when there's gold. And when they do, and there was my answer right there, I will reset. Reset means I, uncross them, I hold them, and I'll say, in my mind, I'll go, cross if the gold's within 6 inches of the surface. cross if they're within 12 inches. And when they start to cross, when they truly do cross, maybe I'm at 18 inches. That's where I go, all right, let's reset. Is there more than a gram? Is there less than a gram? Those are questions that I ask.
Yeah, you have to.
Because, just like metal detecting, if you're going to dig every target, you may be digging, with that MineLab 7000, you may be digging 2 feet down to find a tin can. Who knows? But sorry, Kevin. But again,
paint can lid 4 foot down. Paint can lid 4 foot down. 2 days to dig the damn thing.
Yeah. And then you always want to watch out for like fire ants if you're laying down on the ground digging. But again, dowsing rods have worked for me. They work for a lot of people I know. A lot of people get shocked when I say that because they're sitting on the other side of my computer. But if I was in Alaska, you see dowsing rods in Alaska are like half the length of dowsing rods that I use down here. And people go, why are they smaller? Well, there's so much mineralization and fine gold up there. They want them to cross when there's a good source of gold. So different areas, just like detectors, different things. So, and again, like anything, you need to work with your rods. You need to work with your detector. You need to you buy a brand new high banker, you got to work with that because, at a lot of events, I may walk around and I will put a few, flakes of gold in my hand and I'll let you see it. And then I dump it in the hopper and people freak out. And I said, well, there's a couple things happening right now. First, you need to trust your machine to capture that gold. Second, your machine needs to trust you that you set it up right. The best news is if you find it, things are going well. Every once in a while, people would come back and go, I lost your gold. And I said, well, you didn't lose it. It's just in the pond. But now at least your machine is not set up properly. Let's go work together and see how we can improve and get your gold back. So
I think we better let Steve explain what he's now what we're doing that's making him crazy.
What's going on, Steve?
Type it in, buddy.
Take your time, Steve. Steve wasn't feeling too well earlier today.
I tell you, it's going to be tough, man. The dude is he's a rocket scientist.
These are my dowsing rods of choice. You really didn't think I had them on the other side of my computer, but these are the ones. And I will tell you the truth. I've actually even used clothes hangers from the dry cleaner, untwisted them to make a makeshift when I was looking for something at my house because I didn't have these.
The aerospace engineer has spoken, Kevin.
Maybe I should ask him if I could teach a dowsing class at his Placer Pete event.
Sure, go ahead, ask him.
What other kind of questions do we have out there? I want to thank everybody out there for questions and comments that I've been seeing in there, whether it's asking about membership or asking, question. I never would have thought I would have got into dowsing rods tonight, but
well, there's your answer from Placer Pete.
Steve.
But Ed,
Steve,
what a
you're
great
man.
Ed, what a great format you have here with a lot of great people from all over the world and country, and just people. I'm watching people helping other people in the comments. So I just want to say what a beautiful thing you have.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
They are.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
I think Kevin went asleep.
No, Kevin's wide awake.
Placer Pete says only real stuff. So that's a definite no.
Oh. I'm kind of, this is, Dom, I'm glad you're here because generally every time I'm on any of these um, shows like this, it just turns into a metal detecting show, and it's about everything detecting. So kind of,
Well, you know what? Just like Minor Ma Gold, Gold family rocks. You know what? It
That's
does rock.
right.
You know, yes, you get some weirdness every once in a while, but you know what? Gold family rocks. I
yep,
like that.
yep, it's true.
I have to agree. Oh man. Wait, no, wrong one.
What?
The motion of such dowsing devices is generally attributed to random movement or to the idon- idomotor phenomenon
Odometer phenomenon. Yep.
You know, Steve,
and
you were supposed to go to bed early tonight.
psychological
You're not feeling well.
response where a subject makes motion
Consciously,
unconsecutively.
unconsciously.
Oh, unconsciously. Yeah,
Yep.
geez. I see what
No,
I
it's,
get for getting kicked out of school for surfing too much.
dude, that's the only way I make it through this.
Look
Oh,
at David Villa's, comment. We need to learn more, and I think that's really a lot of laughs and jokes tonight, but that's really what it is, and people need to take the time to want to learn. And I think once I started to get involved with Steve with Placer Pete, I keep going back. I've been saying things to Steve about, you know, there's value in what he started years ago by inviting people out to his claim for an educational and teaching realm. And I think that's very important, or, Kevin has his version of his gold trails, went around 36 weeks on the road, 2,000 people coming up to the different claims that he was at. Um, Myself hosting things at Lost Dutchman, we call them Dirt Fest right now. um, I've moved away from the old day of, hey, for 5 days, we already got the dirt stockpiled. You're just going to shovel it into the hopper and we're going to do a common split. Yes, we had good camaraderie and a good time, but there wasn't truly a lot of teaching back then. It was just bringing people together. And now we've kind of shifted back to, we can still have a great time, but we are trying to teach more if they want it. And if they don't need the teaching, hey, they go out and run on their own to their heart's content. But I think there's avenues, whether it's GPA chapters or private clubs or little organizations that are all around this globe. Bottom line is get involved, show up. We all can learn something. And the easiest thing to say is, how many times have you watched a movie that you've watched before and you notice something different this time? We always can learn. Reread a book, you'll always catch something new. um, or Kevin could be using, and I'm not making fun here, but he uses these big words and he's explaining this stuff, and it's like memory overload. And then somebody else will say something, and I'm like, wait, that's what Kevin was saying. And for all you people that think Kevin's a nice person, I'm going to tell you he's not, because I used to go on the road with him for a period of time, and I'd ask Kevin a question, going down Burnt River Canyon, and Kevin, why the hell were they dig way the hell up on top of that mountain? Because you can see, the mine opening, all the tailings out. Well, Dom, I need you to think about it. What was is not what is there now. And he would frustrate the living hell out of me. But what I had to respect was Kevin didn't give me the answer, which he could have. Oh, blah, 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 bam. He made me work for that answer. He was such a jerk about it. But I come
absolutely.
back and loving and go, he was a great teacher because he just didn't give me the words. He made my mind think. He made my mind work for that answer. And sometimes when I didn't have the whole answer, he'd give me a morsel, but he'd make me figure it out. So Kevin, thank you, but you were a jerk as a teacher.
Absolutely. And you learned, and I'm proud of you for what you've learned. And I'm glad when we had the meeting the other day, you said you were getting ready to bail out of the meeting so you could go run a class. I was a proud papa at that moment.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it started with me, and you've had other good people that have taught you, and that is what it's all about, is continue to learn.
Yeah.
And for all of you that are out there that don't have a mentor, or if you're fairly new, or you just try to figure out how and the whys, talk to somebody. Don't be afraid to walk up to another prospector and ask them a question. 95% of them will just sit you down, and hopefully they don't give you the answers. That is the way that you learn, is not having everything just given to you. It's learning to look at the world, learning to look at the earth, learning to look at different things. And when I talk about the way of water and different way of waters, look, none of it came easy to me. None of it really came easy to me, but I had very good mentors, and I surrounded myself with people, and the main thing that they always said to me is that I'll be gone someday, and you will be the one that is teaching the next group of people that are coming in. Do not ever back away from that challenge. And I can't. I never have. And there's a lot of me's that are out there. There's a lot of me's, and I get a lot of crap because I don't do a lot of YouTube videos. I don't do a lot of this and a lot of that. A lot of these things. I'm more of in your face. Just let's come find me out in the desert. Some friends of mine got me a T-shirt years ago that I thought was just an absolute hilarious thing, because people would come up to me while I was out metal detecting, and they'd stand there and they'd wait till I acknowledged them, and so on like that. And I may end up spending the rest of the day telling people and sharing with them and teaching them over going out and detecting for myself, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me, because I know that they're going to be better, and hopefully they'll share that with somebody else. But my team got me a T-shirt that had a great big picture of headphones silk screened onto the back of the shirt, and it said, if I'm wearing these, I can't hear you. And I just thought that was great. I never stopped anybody from tapping me on the shoulder. Oh, hang on, I gotta stop a robocaller that's going to start here before too long.
Okay.
Ed, you
I
put
had
something
Jill.
up. You put something up
Yeah,
for people to type in Miner's Life.
yeah.
What
That's
exactly?
for the giveaway that Megadog 555. Yeah, I see that, Darren. That's why I opened up. I have Nightbot also collecting them, Mr. Lodek, but Megadog sponsored this giveaway for End of Stream, along with the two that you guys have, but those are pretty specific, so we'll get to those. So just keep on typing my hashtag Miners Life. It's not case sensitive, so appreciate it, Megadog.
Hey, Ed,
Yes, sir.
are we getting close to running out of time? I mean, we've been, I don't even know how long we've been doing this.
Well, if you count the mishap before we came to StreamYard, it's been like 2 hours and 40 minutes. We've been in StreamYard now for 2 hours and 10 minutes. We're about a half hour, 35 minutes into overtime, but hey, with you guys on, time flies. Time flies a lot of the time on Tuesday anyway.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm gonna throw out there if there's specific questions that people have, throw them up there and we'll
oh
see what
yeah,
we can do
please
about it.
do, people.
Yeah,
If you have
get
questions,
specific.
put them up. I'll highlight them like this right here, and we'll get those questions answered.
I mean,
I
I'm
can
fine.
go into overtime.
Okay. Hey man, I'm good. I'm good.
I
I
mean,
wonder why
Kevin and I have been doing most of the work. Ed, you've been kind of showing up every once in a while, so you're probably really raring to go right now.
What was
Ed who? Where's Ed? Ed? Doesn't the guy run the show? Oh, he's the producer tonight. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I see my StreamYards. It counted one person. I don't know if that's a FUPAR or what, but I do have it being collected on Nightbot, everybody. So still throw in those hashtags, and I can change that. Gotta have contingencies. Gotta have contingencies. That goes in mining too. Gotta have contingencies.
I have no idea what Steve just posted up, and there he goes.
Yep, and there he goes.
Well, an ice jam breaking free, causing over a 10-foot rise, will it expose gold deposits? What an incredibly great question. For a long period of time, when we really look at things and if we do tectonics still move gold, do anything that happens, when the San Andreas fault goes off and the Garland and all the east-west faults go, yeah, there is gold that's being moved around. Some of it makes it closer to the surface. But when we talk about things like an ice break, if it has sufficient force and there's gold in the area and it is able to be put into a position of distribution, you will absolutely have distribution of gold. The greatest thing is this. Wow, did we just fail?
No.
Oh, okay. Because my camera went off for it started to go off. It's like lost connection. And then the greatest thing that happens after that is the concentration. So if you're in an area where you're able to see things like that and you're able to look at them and really be able to explore them, and you're in an area and you can see the damage that was done by the flow, you can always follow that flow, testing and sampling, and understand that gold will not follow a straight line. It will follow the line of the water and let it do its job. You will find a concentration area if it was sufficient enough power to create concentration. A lot of times it just causes distribution. It's when I talk about river prospecting and different things, I mean, California again is facing another atmospheric river thing, another whole bunch of craziness going on. And this is the time of the year that I love to be in California when they're having these things, because when I get to a river, I don't care where the water is. If I go out to the Yuba in the summertime, I really don't care where the water is. I'm more concerned. I only care about where it was, and learning how to look and see all the clues, all the hints, and all the clues, and all the things you don't think about. Learning to look at debris, learning to look at the layering of the rocks in the bottom of a water stream, and getting onto a trend and following those trends. So, yeah, absolutely. Could it move gold? A big ice flow? Yeah, it could. But you
Yeah,
have to follow things. You have to follow it out. You have to follow it to the end. Yeah. Placer Pete, Steve and I have these amazing conversations over volcanic activity and tectonic activity, about how that moves things around, and sometimes it'll bring material up and so on like that. It's really kind of cool, because Steve took me to a spot where it was very interesting. There was a left moving oblique fault line, which means that it was an east-west fault, and it broke loose, and it lifted, and it moved. So you had a movement that came up, and then it moved like this. And for all intents and purpose, anything that would have come up through there through subsequent faults or subsequent fault activity would have just been coming straight up in through those areas. And it didn't really play out for a lot of gold, but I'm feeling that if I took off and just took a day and hiked that fault line, I could get on some pretty good gold somewhere. So that's next time I'll go out a couple of days earlier, put on a backpack and grab and just take off looking at those things. Man, I'm sorry, man. That was a long answer to a question.
yeah, sometimes they're not always short, are they?
Yeah. That's why I'm not on Twitter. I can't even say good morning in 146 characters.
Right? Steve's wondering, Dominic, what is the average size of the gold you will get in Staten? Or better yet, dollars per yard, use 75 per yard.
Okay, interesting question. I can take you to a place right now where you will get 0 per yard. Again, let's go back to prospecting the right areas. But there are people that will work the easier wash and do a lot of vacuuming and get what we call fly poop, skeeter nuts, really fine 200 mesh gold, and it'll add up. Or you can work a little bit harder in the sides of the hills or sides of the washes, get more of a chunkier gold. You're going to work a little bit harder. But what we have been consistently getting in our areas they're usually getting about a half gram per yard. It goes up from there. There's little pockets here and there. That happens a lot out in the washes that we have. But I would say use a good half gram per yard if you're working one of the better areas that we have.
All right. 100 years ago, high benches all day long, Swifty
Absolutely.
says.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, for everybody that's out there prospecting, if you don't know how to look for a bench, you need to learn how to look for a bench. If you're in the middle of a forest and you're looking up and you're trying to figure out where a bench is, the trees will tell you everything you need to know. If you look at an area like the Klamath River is an amazing lesson in water flow. So's the Yuba. When you look at those areas around those, and well, the American, a river, a gold-bearing river. If there's one teaching moment tonight, I hope it's this. If you learn to look for where the benches are, the question I always ask is, what's easier to move? Is it easier to move a 1 ounce gold nugget, or is it easier to move 1 ounce of fine gold? Think about it. That's going to be up to you to come up with something. When you start thinking about some of these things, looking at for a bench is pretty simple. Just look at the trees. You've got a hill. Trees all grow about the same height. You're looking down, and all of a sudden you see a flat spot. Then it starts going down again. I have found really big gold by getting out of the rivers and going up to the old high benches and looking at the high benches. And some of these, I mean, we're talking about where the water may have been 1 million years ago. Yeah. Learn.
Darcy Cooper, a miner out of the Barkerville, British Columbia area, he would always say, think outside of the stream. And
absolutely.
If you look at Miner or Bus old stuff, he'll really quite a lot of knowledge from Darcy about high bench mining and stuff.
Yep.
Well, San Gabriel, East Fork San Gabriel is great for the high bench gold.
Absolutely. That's up above the bridge, up above the bridge and those areas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Above the bridge to nowhere. And
yep.
Yeah, and you're right about the Klamath and the Yuba. Well, tons of the mother lode gold was from the old tertiary channels, right?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. The old tertiaries, and when you start looking at the age of that area, yeah, when you really boil it down, the river, a water flow is the last resting place for gold. If I'm out here in my desert, I very seldom ever work in a wash. I'm really not going to spend a lot of time in the wash. I'm going to be out when after the monsoons come through is when I do most of my prospecting in the dead of the summertime when it's 115, 120 degrees. That's when I go out and do my prospecting. That's when I start making my plans for what I'm going to be doing in the wintertime. And I'll look and see these little tiny rivulets, these little tiny cuts in the water or in the upper banks that are feeding into the main washes. And I'll check those. And if I have any indication of gold, I'm going to start moving my way up. You've got a picture. I sent it to you. I'm going to ask you not to post that picture, but a nice nugget that I found on an alluvial fan that would never have ever made its way into a river channel.
One you showed me, the first one?
Yeah, that first one I sent over to you.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that piece of gold would ever make it any further than where it was. And it's 3/4 of a mile. It's 3/4 of a mile from any waterway that there is through there. And that was 24 inches deep. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Too bad I can't share it with you guys.
Go ahead. It's not, it is, and I'll preface it with this. It is not the nugget. It is the exact replica of the nugget that I found in 1996 on a flat. And for anybody that's ever been to one of my gold trails, I've given the X marks the spot or told them what to look for when they got to that area, to a particular area, but it was not that far from where I'm at right now.
Santa Claus, North Pole, Canada. Hey, new skipper. Quick note, folks, I'll be doing the videos for family members again this year. It's set to child safe and only require a bit of information on the child and their first names only. The skipper becomes Santa Claus every year and goes around Canada spreading Christmas cheer. This is for our community and it's free.
Do you do those
Okay,
for a 58-year-old kid?
I'm sure he'd do it for any kid.
There's a question a couple have asked. Dom, Kevin, are you coming panning back east? So I responded,
Yes.
I know myself, I'll be Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina next year. Yes, I'll do panning, but if I'm coming back to Georgia or North Carolina, you're probably going to find me on the nozzle and the dredge for a little bit. You'll probably find me using a trommel here and there and maybe a little high banking, but I will finish up with a pan. Not sure what Kevin's plans are, but I can speak for myself on that one.
All right, everyone. Want to see what I got permission to show you guys? Because if if Kevin would have said, kept with the don't show no one, you would have never seen it. Kind of like when Smith's Gold and Two Toes told me not to show certain things over at Gold Mountain, where in 4 hours we pulled out, a day between all of us. We hiked out of that river valley with over a gram or an ounce and a quarter of gold that day. All detected. But
Then
there it is.
it's kind of a nice place for you guys to be too.
It was a nice area. Some nice chunky gold too. But there it is, guys. The nugget that Kevin was talking about.
Paper
When-
thin, 27 ounces, epithermal gold.
Nice. Sure's pretty.
It
And
is
that's
pretty.
the exact replica of it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
At least you had the mindset to get a replica made of it, Kevin.
Well, I still have that piece of gold. It's sitting in the safe deposit box in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and that's because you wanted it so far away from you so you wouldn't be tempted.
You're damn right. There are times that I've thought about I've had some pretty nice offers on that piece, and I've turned them all down. But yeah, that's an heirloom piece that's already going to somebody when I pass away, and I know that they will respect it for the rest of their lives, and then pass it down to somebody else.
You might need to smack Swifty next time you see him.
Why?
That head is AI all the way. He's saying you photoshopped it.
All right, whatever.
Swifty.
It's amazing how jealousy pours out of some people.
Right, right. He couldn't be happy for you and say, killer fine, Kevin.
It's all right. It's all right. I remember putting that nugget in somebody's hands, and they stood there and just almost teared up. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Now, Kevin showed me a chart, sent me a chart of the spike in the river level on it. That's the Canadian hillbilly.
Yeah.
I wish I could
Oh my
zoom.
God. Holy hell.
Yeah, that's a lot of water in just one swoop going through that gauging station, huh?
Can you enlarge that any, or is that it?
No, I wish I could,
Do me
Kevin.
a favor, send that to me. When it's all said and done, send that to me in Messenger.
Will do.
That is a what's the high end of that? I can't read it from here, but what's the high end?
Shit. Looks like 4 digits. 1 point something or other. Kevin, I can't zoom into it, Kevin.
Okay, no
If it
worries.
was in my email, I could. Some
Yeah,
I can for some reason.
yeah, of
And
course. And the one thing to remember, and exactly what Canadian Hillbilly said, it's in meters. So yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, hey, yeah, please email that to me. I popped in there on the chat, and you've got my email. Yeah,
JP.
oh, and Mr. Lodak asked, "What is the chart?" That chart is a water spark, is a spike chart that shows um, uh, basically a water level. And if you're looking at normal, it'll have a little bit of fluctuation throughout the course of a period of time, but that spike is an incredible. That's got to be 20 meters. That's got to be 20 meters. Just looking at it from what it is, and
That's a high spike in the water level in that particular area
yeah, I mean,
or on that
think
river.
yeah, think of it this way: you're talking about a narrow channel, and let's just say that there was an iceberg, or I'm sorry, a glacier that broke a huge section of ice away, and it landed into a river channel. I mean, you're talking about an event, a flood event that would be just amazing, or a spike event that would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me get this first giveaway taken care of. It's not too late, everybody. If you want to get in on it, type in the room. What do I have it as?
Miner's life.
Hashtag Miner's Life. Not 24, Brian. Well over 12 feet, probably 15 feet surge.
Oh, that's all? Oh, okay.
From the look of that, I was thinking 25, 30, actually. You know,
Hey,
I couldn't read the numbers.
I typed in miner's life. Does that mean I'm in the drawing now?
Should be, yeah.
If I win, give it to somebody else.
All right, I'm going to put a timer on this.
Pardon me.
No worries, Kevin. I understand, my friend. I think it was 3 weeks ago. I was trying to do a show. I was hoarse. I was coughing, and I'm still a little hoarse. But thanks to you two tonight, yeah, I saved my voice a little. All right. In a minute, I'm gonna let Nightbot pick the winner.
Aw, did we just lose Scotty? Did Scotty go to bed?
See you guys, Cav Dime. Great time, Ed. Always a good time.
Go to bed, Scotty.
Kind of.
Go to
Lisa
bed,
might,
Scotty.
you know, him and Rob has to make him work tomorrow in the gold fields, you know. He had to tuck Manny Jr. in.
Oh my God. I could have gone a lifetime without seeing that, hearing that one. That is a visual that you cannot unsee.
Now, Dominic's in more on the joke, so he's even laughing now. All right, good luck, everybody. Mr. Lodak, the world's greatest moderator. David, I have Mr. Lodak's address. I'll get it over to you.
You say he's the world's greatest moderator. What form?
Yes. Well, he's the moderator and co-host at GPS
Who is
Gold
this?
Prospector Space.
Who
That's
is this?
Sharon Wheeler.
Oh, I had no idea.
Now you do, Mr.
Yeah,
Lodak.
yeah.
Congratulations, Jern. Rick Pennyweight was supposed to win. Was Thomas even here? Haven't seen Thomas all night. Oh, Thomas Lucky Ducky. I want a recount. Rick, stop the vote. Alaska, I bought way lower, about 300 lower. Oh, wow. Now he's talking crypto. Oh, my
that
goodness.
is one thing I will not have a conversation on.
All right. Now, why we're doing this, Dominic? Want to explain to them about what I know you put it in the room a little bit right there.
So
Could you
actually,
elaborate a little on this?
yeah. So I actually put a message to everybody in the chat that if anybody was interested in Lost Dutchman membership, if they call tomorrow between 7 and 4 Pacific Standard Time, they can ask some questions of our ladies that are in the office. If they want to get a membership, what I said is if they let them know they were on the podcast, we will double their pay dirt bag that they get with a sign up, and I'll include a free entrance ticket to one of our LDMA events hosted in 2025. That's just an offer for everybody if they wanted LDMA membership. What I had said to you earlier today is if you wanted to give away a free entrance ticket to one of our events, what the entrance ticket is it basically gives you free camping during the event. They're all 9 days. You don't have to be there all 9 days, but it gives you free camping. It gives you dry camping. You can always upgrade to a hookup site if that camp has it. But it includes up to eight total people in that site. So it's a ticket for, basically for everybody to come in. It gives you, if you're here on the Friday night during the event, it gives you free dinner that we put on that night. And then, of course, any activities we do during that week or any mining, you would just pay the small trivial fee for that. So it's just a way of getting you into our camp.
Okay. And that's also going to be a key word, which is going to be, I'm going to put it in the chat room. Right now. So go ahead if you're interested in an LDMA event pass. Dominic just explained it, and it could be at South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Oregon camps, California camps, Arizona camps, wherever you have an event, right, Dominic?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin, if you win this one, you have to donate it back.
I'm waiting to hear what it's Miners Life also, or
No,
what's the name of it?
LDMA event pass.
No, but
L
what's the keyword?
hashtag LDMA event pass.
Oh, okay.
I have it pinned up top. And then yours is going to be hashtag gold trails.
Okay. So, you want to go ahead and talk about mine?
We can.
Okay. I can just throw that out there real quick, and that way they can. What happens if they put in double hashtags? Yeah, who cares? All right. So what I'm
I
going to
don't
do
know
is
if I could do at one.
no.
I'll have to do them at separate times.
I'll tell you what. Go ahead and do Dominic's real quick, and then I'll tell him about mine, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'll give you all 2 minutes if you're interested in this one by LDMA. I've been to a few of their digs a long time ago at Scott River Camp and on the Burnt River. Both good camps. Need to make it to the Blue Bucket, but I've been to those, and Loud Mind's a very nice camp. Been there in Vane Mountain. I haven't been to the camp in South Carolina. But if you want to get in on it, type in hashtag LDMA event pass. Camera not focusing on you?
No, it's not supposed to be on. It's
tracking you?
Yeah, my camera, and I'm supposed to be able to just give it a hand gesture and it quits, but for some reason it's not.
I'll give you a hand
Doggone
gesture.
Apple. I'll put Dominic back up there. Kevin is making me dizzy. Has to be 3 syllables, 1 word, Robert. No space. Heather got it, Robert. All right, everybody. I'll I'll bring this back up. I gotta stop it. StreamYards can work on some things, I tell you. I think that's the right one. Yep. Not many people into it. Can we gift it if we win? Mr. Lodak asks.
Why not?
There you go. Why not? He just answered you, Mr. Lodak. So I'll give it another 2 minutes. We got a minute left. I saw Lodak do it. Oh, but they're not gonna make me redo the whole thing, are they? What the?
Yeah, be careful. Be careful.
Beep.
The hell was that?
Me self-censoring myself. Well, Lodak won once already, so I might have to refresh it. So I'm gonna refresh it, and it should count all of them. Sometimes technology is a real pain in the
Yep.
rump.
Yep. Be nice.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, I'm gonna start 2 minutes all over again. So those who are here, get it in. Get it in again. Sorry. Just like Jason E. Miner has it, Placer Pete, Brian Wilder. No, you didn't break it. It's collecting right now. Starting to. I need to take down Facebook. All right. It's collecting. Got over a minute. Get them in, friends. Get them in. Believe me, there's somewhere in the United States that's not too far from you. Those on the East Coast, there's North, South Carolina, Georgia. On the West Coast, California, Oregon, Arizona, Colorado.
You do know that the Scott River camp is currently closed, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. Scott River burned last year to the ground. Well, not to the
Ooh,
ground, but it did burn. That was the horrific fire that they call the Happy Camp Complex. It got the camp, and then I've got to say I'm really proud of the state of California for stepping up and getting a lot of the stuff done that they said they were going to do. They're a few months behind, but I was out there month and a half ago and was really impressed at the headway that they've made. All of the burned out, most of the the environmental assessment was done back in February. They took out anything that they considered toxic, so that was done. The next section was they came in with a huge amount of equipment, and anything that was burned was picked up and taken away. And that leaves the only thing left is the tree felling, which when I talked to them the other day, they said they've already had their first snows up there. So they won't be touching that until springtime. And then after that, I'll be hopefully putting a team together of members to go up and do a team endeavor there, like what we've done in other camps across the United States. So
a long time ago, Julie asked something about the I-bar stuff, I believe. I forget what she asked. Oh well. Julia, are you still here? Put it in. Put it in. I thought I saw it twice. I put it up on the screen once or twice. Just so much going on. Mussel shells, been a while. All right. I gave it an extra 2 minutes. She had to leave. Oh, okay. Thanks, David. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Good luck, everybody. Justin, Alaska Gold Hunter. Oh, Danny says. Are you able to do that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Homzu said she was wondering if the I-Bar would be hosting Dirt Fest.
something similar. It'll be very
Well,
similar.
your gold trails are all held at I-Bar, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, we did have a small outing there. I'm looking at making some changes at I-Bar as far as, because we're so limited on space there, and of course with the regulations and so on. I really don't want to get into a lot of it now. I've just got to figure out if I can do budgetary things to be able to build out a couple of things that I would really like to be able to do out there, and if they make sense. And if I can, then doing more at I-Bar will be absolutely on the table.
All right.
As far as outings are concerned.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Homzu, if you could relay that to our sister for me, that'd be great. That'd be great. All right. Remove that. Stop screen share. Okay, everybody. I'm prepping for the next one.
All right,
Kevin,
here we
if
go.
you would.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yes.
Okay, quick, fast, and in a hurry. As I've shared, Gold Trails is now being hosted at I-Bar, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away three Gold Trails discounts, $150 discount for Gold Trails, for any of the Gold Trails. It doesn't matter if you're a member or not a member. It comes with, if you're not a member, there's some benefits and things like that we toss out at you, and a few other things. So hashtag Gold Trails. We'll give away three of these, right? Just one back to back. I don't have the full 2025 schedule. And so that, and if you're in the area and you bring a camper, I'll also give you free dry camping. So 3 big discounts on Gold Trails, and and free camping.
Excellent. Man, at least Nightbot would have let me get in on this. Damn. Or I mean, the doggone. Oh, sure. Now StreamYards is counting them. StreamYards will let me in on it. I might have to get in on this. We might have to do a StreamYard
I
giveaway.
entered you, Ed. I entered for you.
Right on.
Teamwork.
I'm going to mute you guys for a minute. I'm going to take a crazy call.
Okay. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll let the clock tick for a bit. If you have any questions for Dominic in the Lost Dutchman's Mining Association, no, that's not in Indiana. Cottonwood Trails Gold Camps in Indiana. Gold Trails is the name of the event that Kevin Hoagland puts on at the LDMA camp, Italian bar on the I'm gonna butcher it, Dominic. The Stanislaus River, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Ain't
I
that
was
in
laughing.
Mariposa County?
Yes. Mariposa.
Very, very, very rich mining history on the Stanislaus or whatever it is. I can't pronounce that to save my life. The
Megadog has a
does
question, and my answer is yes. I truly believe it's been found.
doesn't the American River feed that?
Stanislaus.
I think the American River is where Sutter's Mill was. That's a bit north of the Stanislaus, if my
Kevin's
memory
ringing the
serves
doorbell.
me right. Okay, he's still on the phone. Oh, okay. There.
Tuolumne County, California, founded in 1850.
Oh, Tuolumne, not Mariposa. Okay.
Tuco. Tuolumne County,
Okay.
founded in 1850, and it is the Stanislaus River, which headwaters are about 45 miles up. And then from there, it runs, I don't remember what it runs into, but yeah, it's the Stanislaus River, Tuolumne County. Beautiful place right outside of Columbia and right outside of Sonora. So if you're looking at the map and you're trying to figure out where it is, go to Columbia, California, and find Italian Bar Road and follow Italian Bar Road. If you want to look at it on the map, then you just follow Italian Bar Road all the way down to the bottom, and it is on every Google map that there is. The camp is listed on Google Maps.
Actually, a lot of your camps are. Loud
Yeah, there are.
Mine is,
Yep.
Vane Mountain. I
Okay, I'm
forget
going back
the
on mute.
name
I'm
of the
going back on
one
mute for
in.
just.
Okay. Wave back at me if I see you backstage, Kevin, if you can even hear me. We have 27, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds, and then I'll be doing it, clicking it. Let me share that so I can share it. I think Kevin's done. I think. Is he done? He's putting in his ears. All right, everybody. Kevin has his ears on.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Unmuted.
That was a
No
call I needed
worries.
to take care of.
And Dominic is still the winner. All
I'm good with
right.
that.
All right. We have time to pick. Home zoo and prospecting. Yeah. He's out that way too.
What was that?
He does a lot of work with Julie.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was.
Does.
I'm sorry. There was a massive noise that just happened here, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
Congrats, Dan. Gold Trails. All right. For all of you that won, please do me a favor. Email me your information and I'll get it back to Dominic and Kevin. Justin, or you could message me on Facebook, whichever's easier for you. Justin, I know we're friends on Facebook. Lodak, I have your address.
I'll be damned, it worked. Nothing.
It
Sorry.
worked.
Sorry. Yeah, I did the Vulcan thing and it turned off. Live long and
What
prosper.
I'd win. Wait. What?
What?
You won. Oh, Kevin explained to he just said it to
what are we doing?
Well, home zoo's not sure. Yeah, we home zoo and prospecting.
Congratulations. You are the winner of a 3-day Gold Trails event discount, $150 of the discount on any of my Gold Trails that will be held at Italian Bar during 2025. And that also includes free camping, dry camping only.
But wait, there's more.
But wait,
we have two
there's
more.
There's 3 total. Yeah.
3 total. So there's still chance for another win. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Of course we're ready.
American Gold Prospectors Brian Wilder.
Brian, are you coming to iBar with me, buddy? That'll be a blast.
Happy birthday, Brian. All right. I'll let you guys chew on your teeth a couple minutes more. It's not too late to get in there. And that would be cool. When is it? Brian says.
I'll have to. I don't have the 2025 schedule up yet, but it will.
Oh yeah,
start.
You did say that.
Yeah. What it's going to depend on right now is how much more flooding that they have in the area and the high water. Yeah, so we just have to. I have to almost gauge those things by about the middle of January, because by that time we'll have an idea of what we can look forward to and what we'll have to deal with as far as high water.
There you go.
But believe me, you'll have plenty of notice. You won't get a notice on Thursday that it starts on Monday. That's
I
a
had
Dominic.
to know in June. If it's after that, you can do it as a re-gift.
Okay.
Would he be there? Would it be after June?
If it would go into September, July is June is when they open up most of the dams up north.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the middle of a gold trail last year or this year, and we literally lost the river in less than 12 hours. It went from being something you could almost walk across the river to being at flood stage, and the river came up over 4 feet in less than 12 hours.
Wow.
So
Reminds me of a story I just told my members in a members only video. I was dredging a canyon on the South Fork Nooksack in Washington, and in a couple hours, the water level came up 2 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, and we're like, we might want to drag our dredges up on this cliff. Well, it wasn't literally vertical, but it was pretty steep where we were at.
yeah.
And it rained for, oh God, a good solid week. Nooksack's a wild river, no dams. And we came back a week later, it's still raining. Our dredges are floating. So we put them up another 10 feet. We come back the following week and we're looking up at them like 20 feet up on the side of the canyon. And then we had to belay them down to the river. And instead of doing a bunch of loads 2 miles to our rig, we whitewatered down the South Fork Nooksack. My butt still hurts from a rock it bounced off of. Because, we were under our dredges like this with our feet tucked in our frame, floating between the pontoons. And
Been there,
man,
been
oh
there, done
man,
that.
that hurt. And no way in heck were we gonna take the dredges out the way we came in,
Nope.
because we slid them down logs off of a log landing, dragged them through the woods, then floated to where we were dredging. So only way out was time to leave them there and call it art. No, 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 no. They were both gold grabbers from Allen trees.
Oh,
I like I like Allen's dredges.
yes. It's I'm sorry to see that Alan retired, but it was time. I've known Alan for
Yeah.
forever.
And all his products good. His gold grabber pan, his gold grabber high banker,
Yep.
his dredge. I liked it. It was fairly easy for a one man dredger,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, interesting enough, when Alan retired and he sold the company ended up getting broken into 2 separate sections. And hold on. Let me
Okay.
think. No, I can't talk about that one yet. I'm sorry, I can't. I apologize.
No worries.
I
No
had something that
worries.
showed up. I had something that showed up in front of me the other day that I'm pretty excited about, but I don't think I'm in a position where I can talk about it yet.
Okay. My producer's saying I'm being kind of loud. They went to bed a couple hours ago. Okay, Brian, what do you want to do about this, buddy? Because I know you'll be working with raw television, so... He thought he owns a gold grabber. They're good dredges, good high bankers. Well, I'll just re-roll the other one. How's that, Kevin? Good?
I'm good with it. Are you asking me if I'm good with that? I'm good.
I'll be in Nome in June till November, so you can re-gift it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry to hear that, Brian. I know you'd have a good time.
Well, Brian, when are you leaving? I mean, when you say June, what part of June?
Good question, Kevin. Do 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 do. Well, while he's answering that, I'm gonna re-roll.
Yeah.
Gold Hunter 77. Okay, honey. June 15th or so, he says. So about the middle of June. And Gold Hunter's here.
I'll tell you what, make sure I get all of his information and we'll go ahead and re-roll it and everything else. But if it comes up for early May, I'll just reach out to him and invite him to come on out.
Okay. Sounds good, Brian. There's an offer for you. All right. Last time, everybody, I want to thank you all for joining us for this nice, long, extended overtime show tonight.
Well, thank you, Ed, for finally showing up.
Yeah, that time you showed up for your own show, dude.
Oh, here's a guy who actually lives in the San Joaquin Valley. The local yokel from the Motherlode, David Villa. David Villa, are you still in the house?
There he is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What, me? You too, Placer Pete. Hope to see you on during another show sometime.
You ought to have
what
him
you
as
think?
a guest. Hey, Ed, you really need to reach out to Steve and have Steve as a guest.
Steve, would it be okay if I reached out to you? I've heard a lot of good stuff about stuff on your claims.
There you go.
Thank you.
I think Steve will be a very interesting and great guest.
Excellent. I always like good, interesting people for guests.
especially if he gets into his background. I'm not going to talk about any of it. It's if it happens, it happens. But I mean, I was just really shocked the more I got to know him, and just he's just that guy.
You know our friend Chris Undertaking spoke very highly of Placer Pete, if I
Did he really?
remember right.
Yeah. I haven't talked. I get messages from Chris every now and then, but I
Oh,
haven't talked to him since he went to Australia.
he's been busy, and I can't believe he does his show during my show.
Oh, look at
But
Steve's remark. Taught Chris all he knows.
there you go. Chris was a fun guy.
Yeah.
Chris was a very fun guy. And I'm glad he's having such a good time in Australia, that lucky SOB. But, um, I would like to thank Gold Hunter 77 for the $9.99 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Megadog 77 or Megadog 555 got sevens on my brain. Thank you very much. I'll get Mr. Lodak's information out to him. And he did add a picker on a sticker. I saw him say in chat, Mr. Lodak, and that's what that is right there, a picker on a sticker. There's a real placer gold picker on that Pooch's gold pan right there. Megadog, thank you very, very much. Also, each and every one of you that came from the debacle that happened earlier to this part of the show, I
This
thank you
debacle.
all very much. Murphy really roared his head. So, all of you, next week, we have Gold Hunter 77 joining us from Southwest Oregon. That should be a good show. We'll be talking about beach mining, river mining, sniping, dowsing. It's going to be another good show there. Everybody, thank you all for joining us tonight. Kevin, Dominic, thank you very much for being such great guests again. All of you out there, thank you for being the AUSOM, the awesome community you are. You are all the reason why we do what we do.
Absolutely. So very, very true. Hey, thank you, everybody. As usual, I've had a great time. And I know that some of you are really tired and you just are just like done. And I get that. So, but thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for listening to us and letting us give Ed a little bit of a break and letting Dominic and I just kind of take things over and banter back and forth. So I truly appreciate you all. I really do. You are, even those of you that I don't know, if you've got a gold pan in your hand at any time, you're part of my family.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Be kind to one another. There's gold out there to be found, and I'll say this, Ed. Thanks for putting up with us. You know, we kind of just told you to go relax, and hopefully you could a little bit, but it was all in fun. And
I had a blast with the both of you, Dominic.
Awesome. All right.
You two are always welcome here on Tuesday Night Hangout Live, and you'll always be a big part of Flash in Your Pan. I appreciate the donation, the sponsorships.
He has no idea what he just got himself into.
His subscriber base just went down. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Thank you for your sponsorships for the 2 giveaways. Megadog, again, thank you, all of you. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan. And you know what I like to say. Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river. But this very second, right now, the 3 of us, we're out of here. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.